Hello everyone, Fanta here. You're watching FANTAVISION, and today I wanted to talk about the new Lucasfilm Games company that has just sprung up out of nowhere, what it means, and what the future of Star Wars video games could be. Because honestly, I really like Star Wars video games. I like Star Wars video games more than most of the movies or things that they have created for the Star Wars universe. That's because they can be bigger, they can be more creative, they can go off the beaten path and do interesting things. Now, the past 10 years, we haven't really had that, unfortunately. Yeah, there's been Fallen Order, and that's it when it comes to going off the beaten path, because EA has had exclusive control and will still have exclusive control for another 2 years. So their license is going to run out in 2023, and hopefully this new company, Lucasfilm Games, will either start producing games in-house or loan their license out to more companies than just the people making Lego games and EA. Which I don't know why they decided to give them exclusive rights to begin with, besides the fact that LucasArts stopped making games and Bob Iger from Disney went, you know, we've made a couple bad ones, let's just shut it all down. Even though we've made a ton of great games, a ton of interesting experiences, let's just shut it down. I don't want to deal with it. Let's just give it to EA. They'll deal with all the video game stuff. They know what they're doing. They totally know what they're doing. No, they don't, because in the past 10 years since they've had that license for exclusive rights to use the Star Wars property, they've made like 4 games. That's it. They've made like 4 games during that time, because Knights of the Old Republic, or whatever the hell it's called, the MMO game they made before they got exclusive rights, and it was still a failure. It was a colossal failure. So was the first Battlefront game. The second one was at launch, and they finally fixed it up, and now it is actually a fun game. But it's to the point that it's going to be free on Epic very soon. So it's not like it was a commercial success either. Squadron seems pretty cool. Fallen Order did really well in the reviews and was a pretty good game. But beyond that, they had 4 games in 10 freaking years. And we've seen just how bad monopolies can be in the video game industry, just the video game industry. We're not going to talk about other industries with monopolies, but in the video game industry as a whole, we've seen the decline of quality with sports games. Sports games have been dumpster fires for quite a while now, since EA just has the rights to every single sport, basically. And we just see it go down, 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 down in quality because they don't have to try. They're the only ones on the block making an NFL game, so who cares if it's the exact same game or worse than last year's. And because they've really had no competition with Star Wars games, they haven't made a whole lot of Star Wars, which is weird to me, by the way. You think if you had the license to Star Wars, one of the biggest, most famous franchises of all time, you would take full advantage of that and put out as many games as possible with Star Wars slapped on it. But nope, instead they just kind of, we're going to make a crappy game over here, and then we're going to fill this one full of microtransactions, and then we're going to make... Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what a squandered time that EA had with the license. If it doesn't get renewed, they will have completely wasted their time with that license. They could have totally put out a bunch of amazing things instead of canceling everything that they couldn't monetize to hell. But what exactly is Lucasfilm Games? StarWars.com is thrilled to reveal that Lucasfilm Games is now the official identity for all gaming titles from Lucasfilm, a name that encompasses the company's rich catalog of video games and its eye toward the future. Blah, 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 blah. They've got a new social media thing they just launched for it. There's a sizzle reel you guys can watch. There's a trailer just full of games that are already out. The Lucasfilm Games logo featured above will appear in all future Lucasfilm Games titles.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
It's nothing. I don't understand why they're even revealing this as like a big thing. It's literally just a logo that they are going to slap before all these different games start up now. Like, that's it. You're going to have another logo on the box. You're going to have another logo that's going to get in your way before you start your game. And that's it. They just want to tie all these games together. The fact that they're all owned by Disney / Lucasfilm, which is, you know, owned by Disney. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Now, I know a lot of people are speculating already. A lot of websites are speculating. IGN, GameSpot, all those different places are speculating that this means that the license is gonna be spread around. It means that they're going to have a lot more companies making games. It means all these different things when A, you can't do that right now anyway. You have to wait 2 years. B, the fact that they gave EA the license in the first place and the fact that sports just keeps being EA and that's it doesn't bode well for Star Wars. I have a feeling that Disney might just keep up the license. And honestly, Disney was in talks about removing the license from EA because they were squandering the Star Wars name and giving it a bad name by filling it full of loot boxes, including barely any maps at launch, and then requiring a $50 season pass. Did you forget that? The first Star Wars game, first Star Wars Battlefront game that EA made by themselves, not the pandemic one, not the good ones on the PS2 and original Xbox. We're talking about the first new Star Wars Battlefront game, had like no content and a $60 game, and then required you to buy another $50 season pass. What a nightmare. But honestly, back to what I was talking about, because Disney was about to pull their license, I feel like that's why Squadrons became a thing. That's why Fallen Order finally became a thing. They're like, okay, well, we can't just microtransaction the hell out of it. We got yelled at. Disney might take our license away. Let's just put these out as quickly as possible. And they might put out more Star Wars games before their license expires to try to convince Disney to extend it. So we're seeing them at the end of their lease, just trying their hardest to prove like, oh, no. Just let us keep this IP. We'll make good games. Look at what we just put out before our IP license expired. So I hope that EA doesn't make any good Star Wars games before the end of the lease. I want to see Disney rip it away from them and spread the love, because I feel like more companies need a shot at making their own Star Wars games, because that's what happened when LucasArts was making the games and was licensing them out to other different development companies. I mean, we wouldn't have the good Battlefront if EA always had control of the Star Wars license. No, everybody had access to it. And we saw a huge variety of games. Yeah, there were a lot of bad Star Wars games, for sure. But the fact that there was a variety, and there were a lot more good games than bad, in my opinion. But the fact that there was this huge variety of types of games and where they were falling in the universe, and the fact that they could take it in a bunch of different directions, it was so much better than just having one focal company do everything, especially one like EA, which is one of the worst video game companies of all time. And I don't know, why would you trust them with it? I mean, it seems like Disney just doesn't care what is going on with the Star Wars license when it comes to video games. And hopefully they'll see the profit aspect and the creative license that other creators can have to make the Star Wars brand a much better franchise again. Because I don't know about you guys, but Star Wars, until The Mandalorian came out, I could not give a single solitary fuck about Star Wars anymore, because the sequels were just terrible. The Force Awakens was pretty good. It was a great way to introduce us into the series. And then The Last Jedi, what the hell? And then Rise of Skywalker attempted to fix the nothingness that was The Last Jedi, but there was just too much stuff going on, and it felt like you were going to have a seizure, which was actually a warning before you went into the movie, because it was causing seizures for people. And after and Solo, of course, and Rogue One, none of the movies were very good, okay? So I kind of was Star Wars'd out. I was like, whatever, even the games suck nowadays. But then Mandalorian came out, they fixed Battlefront 2, Fallen Order came out, and Squadrons looks pretty cool, but I haven't played it. All of these other things are trying to revitalize this franchise, trying to bring it back to life. And if you gave that IP, if you gave that franchise to more studios than just EA's umbrella of studios, I think we'd see a resurgence of Star Wars. I don't know, that's what I think, especially if they do something with the Mandalorian IP. If they make a video game that is based in the Mandalorian universe, or lets players be a Mandalorian. I mean, that's the hottest thing right now when it comes to Star Wars. Mandalorian is huge because it's actually good. It's a really good show if you haven't watched it already. And I think that'd be amazing. But I don't want EA to make it because I don't trust them. I get that Respawn Entertainment has been making some great games lately, but I still don't want EA's grubby fingerprints all over that IP. And I don't want them to have the franchise anymore. I feel like I'm not alone here. I feel like I'm not crazy. But hopefully the speculation, the fact that they do want to tie all these games back together means that in the future, there's going to be a lot more companies that are making these games. Because right now it's all EA and like a couple other side projects are thrown to like the Lego people. But hopefully, because they are slapping that logo on all these games, they want to make it a connected thing. It means that they are having to do this because they're going to have so many other developers making the games. They want to tie it together easier. Whereas right now it's super easy because it's all EA, you know. So those are my thoughts on this brand new logo that's just going to pop up before games. And my thoughts on EA having their hands on the franchise this whole time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, whether or not you think EA is going to keep their license or if Disney will actually grow a brain and want to make some real money. And I understand they've made money. You know, people still bought those terrible EA games. You know, Battlefront 2 was making, I'm sure, a ton of money in microtransactions, and Battlefront 1, I'm sure, made a lot of money as well. But if they really want to make serious money, they want to fix the Star Wars name, they'll spread the love. So we'll see. Let me know if you think it's going to happen. Like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See everybody.